Do you feel like you're constantly surrounded by noise, expectations, and distractions? Here's the truth: they're keeping you from growing. Sometimes the best path forward is the one you walk alone. There's a kind of strength that only comes when you embrace solitude. It's not about being lonely, it's about stepping away from the crowd to find your true self. Walking alone isn't easy, but it's necessary if you want to build resilience, clarity, and independence. Let's break down why learning to walk alone like a lone wolf can be the most powerful move you make in life. The problem most people face today is simple: they're afraid to be alone. Society glorifies being surrounded by people, constantly connected, always part of a group. But here's the irony: if you always follow the crowd, you'll never discover who you are or what you're capable of. Maybe you felt at the pull to conform, to keep everyone happy, to fit into a mold that doesn't feel right. But deep down, you know there's something more. You feel the need to step back, reflect, and carve your own path. The challenge is that solitude is uncomfortable. It forces you to face yourself, your fears, and your doubts. But this discomfort is where growth happens. 1. The power of solitude. Solitude isn't about shutting the world out or isolating yourself, it's about self-discovery. It's about creating a space where you can truly hear your own thoughts without the constant noise of the world drowning them out. The power of solitude lies in its ability to help you find clarity, focus, and peace. Think of your mind as a room filled with clutter. When you're constantly surrounded by people, their opinions, and the chaos of daily life, that room becomes so crowded that you can barely move, let alone think clearly. But when you step into solitude, it's like clearing out that clutter. You create room to breathe, to see things as they are, and to organize your thoughts. Why do we fear being alone? The truth is, many of us are scared of being alone because it forces us to confront ourselves. It's easier to stay busy, distracted, or surrounded by people than it is to sit with our thoughts. Being alone strips away the distractions and reveals who we truly are: our fears, our doubts, our insecurities. But here's the thing: facing those parts of ourselves is how we grow. Solitude is where breakthroughs happen. It's where you come face to face with your goals, your habits, and your potential. When you remove external distractions, you give yourself the chance to reflect deeply on your life. The noise of modern life. In today's world, solitude has become harder to find. We're constantly bombarded by notifications, messages, and endless streams of information. Our phones, our social media feeds, our work, they all demand our attention, leaving little room for introspection. But think about this: some of the greatest thinkers, creators, and leaders in history valued solitude. They made time to step away from the world and think deeply. Why? Because they understood that clarity comes when the noise fades away. The benefits of solitude. 1. Clarity of thought. When you're alone, you're not influenced by the opinions of others. You can think for yourself, question your assumptions, and gain a clearer understanding of your goals and values. Let's say you're struggling to make a big decision. When you're constantly seeking advice or validation from others, their perspectives can cloud your judgment. But in solitude, you can weigh your options objectively and listen to your intuition. 2. Emotional recharge. Being alone allows you to recharge emotionally. It's like hitting the reset button. When you're constantly giving your energy to others, whether at work, with family, or in social situations, you can feel drained. Solitude gives you the space to replenish that energy and reconnect with yourself. 3. Creativity and problem solving. Some of the most creative ideas come when you're alone. When your mind is free from distractions, it can wander, explore new possibilities, and come up with innovative solutions. Ever noticed how your best ideas often come when you're in the shower, taking a walk, or lying in bed at night? That's because these are moments of solitude where your brain has the freedom to think creatively. 4. Self-awareness. Solitude helps you become more aware of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's a chance to check in with yourself and ask, how am I really doing? When you're alone, you can evaluate your life without judgment or comparison. Are you on the right path? Are your actions aligned with your values? These are questions that only you can answer, and solitude gives you the space to do so. How to embrace solitude. 1. Start small. If you're not used to being alone, start with just 15 minutes a day. Find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed. No phone, no distractions, just you and your thoughts. Use this time to reflect on where you are in life and where you want to go. You don't have to overthink it. Sit quietly, take a walk, or even just stare out the window. The goal is to create a space where you can be fully present with yourself. 2. Journal your thoughts. Writing is a powerful way to process your thoughts and emotions. Keep a journal where you can jot down your reflections during your moments of solitude. What's on your mind? What's been bothering you? What are you grateful for? Journaling not only helps you gain clarity, but also allows you to track your growth over time. 3. Disconnect from technology. One of the biggest barriers to solitude is technology. It's hard to be alone when your phone is constantly buzzing with notifications. Make it a habit to disconnect from your devices during your moments of solitude. Put your phone on silent, leave it in another room, or turn it off entirely. The world can wait while you take time for yourself. 4. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment. It's a great way to embrace solitude and quiet your mind. Try this simple exercise. Sit in a comfortable position, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Focus on your breathing and let go of any thoughts that come up. If your mind starts to wander, gently bring your attention back to your breath. Solitude vs. loneliness. It's important to distinguish between solitude and loneliness. Solitude is a choice. It's about creating space for yourself to grow and reflect. Loneliness, on the other hand, is a feeling of isolation or disconnection from others. When you embrace solitude, you're not shutting people out, you're creating a stronger connection with yourself. And the better you know yourself, the better your relationships with others will be. The role of solitude in growth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you step away from the familiar, face your fears, and challenge yourself. Solitude is where this growth begins. Think of it as a training ground. It's where you prepare for the challenges of life, where you strengthen your mind and spirit. The more time you spend in solitude, the more resilient and self-aware you become. A daily practice. Make solitude a daily practice. It doesn't have to be complicated or time-consuming. Whether it's a few minutes in the morning, a walk in the evening, or a quiet moment before bed, find what works for you. Over time, you'll start to notice the benefits. You'll feel more focused, more creative, and more at peace. And most importantly, you'll develop a deeper understanding of yourself and what truly matters in your life. Solitude is a gift you give to yourself. It's a chance to step away from the noise, reflect on your journey, and chart a path forward. In a world that's constantly demanding your attention, solitude is where you find clarity, strength, and purpose. So take that first step. Create a space for yourself. Embrace the power of solitude and watch how it transforms your life. 2. Embracing discomfort. Walking alone is a journey into the unknown. And let's face it, the unknown can be terrifying. It's easier to stick with what's familiar, to surround yourself with people who agree with you, and to avoid the challenging parts of life. But here's the truth: growth begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Every great leader, innovator, and thinker has faced this reality. They've walked alone, both literally and metaphorically, stepping into uncertainty with courage. Why? Because they understood that true transformation doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you embrace discomfort, face challenges, and keep moving forward even when the path isn't clear. The nature of discomfort. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a teacher. It's the voice that says you're not there yet, but you're on the way. Unfortunately, many of us spend our lives avoiding it. We seek comfort in routines and the approval of others and in the safety of the known. But avoiding discomfort is like avoiding exercise. Because it's hard, you miss out on the strength, growth, and rewards that come with it. When you walk alone, when you choose to face life without relying on external validation, you inevitably encounter discomfort. It might come as fear of failure, self-doubt, or the loneliness of making difficult decisions. But here's the thing, discomfort is temporary. Growth, on the other hand, is permanent. The lesson of walking alone. Walking alone doesn't mean you reject others or live in isolation. It means you take ownership of your path. You stop waiting for someone else to show you the way and start forging it yourself. Think of a climber scaling a mountain. The higher they go, the thinner the air and the harder the climb. But the view from the top, that's something only they can experience. The same principle applies to life. The higher you aim, the more challenges you'll face, but the rewards are worth it. When you walk alone, you learn to trust yourself. You stop blaming others for your circumstances and start taking full responsibility for your life. That's where true empowerment begins. Why do we fear discomfort? Fear of discomfort often comes from a desire for control. We like to know what's coming next. We like to feel safe, secure, and in charge. But life doesn't work that way. It's unpredictable. And the only way to navigate it successfully is to embrace uncertainty. Take moments of uncertainty in your life. Maybe you faced a job loss, a broken relationship, or a major life transition. The natural instinct is to seek comfort, maybe from friends, family, or distractions. But what if instead you paused and asked yourself, what can I learn from this moment? When you sit with discomfort, you allow yourself to grow. You learn to adapt, to think creatively, and to find strength you didn't know you had. Examples of greatness through discomfort. History is full of examples of individuals who embraced discomfort to achieve greatness. Inventors and innovators, think about the great inventors of the world. Do you think they were comfortable when their ideas failed over and over again? No, but they didn't let discomfort stop them. Instead, they saw it as part of the process. Leaders and revolutionaries, leaders who stood for change, often faced immense discomfort, criticism, resistance, and even danger. But their willingness to embrace these challenges changed the course of history. Discomfort isn't a roadblock, it's a stepping stone. How to embrace discomfort. 1. Reframe your mindset. Instead of viewing discomfort as something to avoid, see it as an opportunity to grow. When you encounter challenges, remind yourself, this is where I learn. This is where I get stronger. For example, if you're nervous about public speaking, don't see it as a threat, see it as a chance to develop a skill. Every time you step up, you're improving. 2. Take small steps. You don't have to dive headfirst into discomfort. Start small. Take a situation that makes you slightly uncomfortable and face it. Over time, your tolerance for discomfort will grow. Let's say you want to be more assertive. Start with small conversations where you express your thoughts openly. As you gain confidence, you'll be ready to handle bigger challenges. 3. Reflect on past challenges. Think about the times in your life when you faced discomfort and came out stronger. What did you learn? How did it shape you? Use those experiences as proof that you can handle whatever comes your way. 4. Detach from the outcome. One of the biggest sources of discomfort is fear of failure. But failure is just feedback, it's part of the learning process. Instead of obsessing over the outcome, focus on the effort. Ask yourself, am I giving my best? 5. Seek support without dependence. Walking alone doesn't mean you can't seek support, it means you don't depend on it. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, but don't rely on them to do the work for you. The rewards of embracing discomfort. 1. Resilience. When you face discomfort head-on, you build resilience. Life's challenges don't seem as daunting because you've proven to yourself that you can handle them. 2. Confidence. Every time you overcome discomfort, your confidence grows. You realize you're capable of more than you thought. 3. Growth. Discomfort forces you to grow. It pushes you to learn new skills, adapt to new situations, and expand your comfort zone. 4. Independence. Walking alone teaches you to rely on yourself. You stop seeking validation from others and start trusting your own judgment. Embracing discomfort is not about enjoying pain or hardship, it's about recognizing their value. It's about understanding that the things worth having in life often come with a price, and that price is usually stepping out of your comfort zone. When you walk alone, you take responsibility for your life. You stop waiting for others to rescue you and start forging your own path. And yes, it's scary. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But it's also incredibly rewarding. So the next time you face a moment of discomfort, don't run from it. Pause, reflect, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because on the other side of discomfort lies growth, strength, and the life you've always wanted. 3. Building inner peace amidst chaos. Chaos is the natural state of the world. It's unavoidable. You see it in traffic jams, in the noise of social media, in the endless demands of daily life. Everywhere you turn, there's something vying for your attention, pulling you in a million different directions. It's exhausting, isn't it? But here's the thing, while you can't control the chaos of the world, you can absolutely control how it affects you. Walking alone, metaphorically or literally, teaches you this invaluable lesson. It shows you how to be calm in the middle of the storm, how to find a sense of stillness when everything around you feels like it's spinning out of control. That calm, that stillness, it's called inner peace. And it's one of the most powerful things you can cultivate in life. Why inner peace matters. Why does inner peace even matter? Can't you just deal with the chaos and keep pushing forward? Well, here's the truth. If you don't find inner peace, the chaos will overwhelm you. It'll seep into every aspect of your life, your relationships, your work, even your health. It's like trying to navigate a ship through a storm without an anchor. You'll be tossed around, unable to stay on course. But when you have inner peace, you become the anchor. The storm might rage around you, but you remain steady, grounded, unshaken. Inner peace gives you clarity. It allows you to make decisions from a place of strength rather than fear. And perhaps most importantly, it helps you stay true to yourself no matter what's happening around you. The false search for peace in external things. Let's be honest, most people search for peace in the wrong places. They think it comes from external things, money, success, approval from others. They say, if only I get that promotion, I'll feel at ease, or if only I can make enough money, I'll finally relax. But have you ever noticed how fleeting that peace is? You might feel good for a moment when you achieve a goal, but soon enough, the chaos creeps back in. That's because external peace is temporary. It's like putting a bandage on a deep wound. It might cover things up for a while, but it doesn't heal the root issue. True peace doesn't come from what's outside of you. It comes from within, knowing who you are. Inner peace begins with self-awareness. If you don't know who you are or what you stand for, you'll always be at the mercy of external forces. One negative comment from someone can ruin your day. One setback at work can shatter your confidence. Why? Because your sense of self is tied to things you can't control. But when you know who you are, when you're clear about your values, your goals, and your worth, you become unshakable. Criticism doesn't faze you because you know your value isn't determined by someone else's opinion. Failure doesn't paralyze you because you see it as a stepping stone, not a reflection of your worth. So how do you build this self-awareness? It starts with reflection. Spend time alone, not scrolling through your phone, not distracted by the noise of the world, but truly alone with your thoughts. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? What kind of person do I want to be? Am I living in alignment with my values? Write down your answers. Revisit them regularly. The clearer you are about who you are and what you stand for, the easier it becomes to find peace, even amidst chaos. Practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is one of the most powerful tools for cultivating inner peace. At its core, mindfulness is about being present, fully engaged in the moment without judgment. It sounds simple, but in a world filled with distractions, it's anything but. Start small. Each morning, take 5 deep breaths. As you inhale, focus on the sensation of the air filling your lungs. As you exhale, let go of any tension or worry. For those few moments, let the chaos of the world fade away. Throughout the day, practice bringing your attention back to the present. If you're eating, really taste your food. If you're walking, feel the ground beneath your feet. These small acts of mindfulness help you stay grounded, even when life feels overwhelming. Letting go of what you can't control. One of the biggest sources of chaos in life is our attempt to control things we have no power over. You can't control how other people behave. You can't control the weather. You can't control the past or predict the future. What you can control is how you respond. Inner peace comes from recognizing this distinction. When you stop wasting energy on things you can't change and focus instead on what you can, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. The next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. If it is, take action. This simple practice can save you countless hours of worry and frustration. Creating a daily peace practice. Inner peace isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's a daily practice, something you cultivate over time. Here's a simple routine to get started. 1. Morning reflection. Spend 5 to 10 minutes each morning reflecting on what you're grateful for and what you want to focus on that day. 2. Mindful breathing throughout the day. Take a few moments to focus on your breath. Use it as a reset button whenever you feel stressed. 3. Evening check-in at the end of the day. Take a few minutes to reflect. What went well? What could you improve? Use this time to let go of any lingering stress. These small practices done consistently can have a profound impact on your sense of peace. The ripple effect of inner peace. When you cultivate inner peace, it doesn't just benefit you, it benefits everyone around you. Think about it. When you're calm and centered, you're better equipped to handle challenges, support others, and contribute to the world in a meaningful way. Your peace becomes a source of strength for those around you. You inspire others to find their own calm amidst the chaos. And slowly but surely, you create a ripple effect of positivity in a world that desperately needs it. The world is chaotic, that's never going to change, but your reaction to it can. Inner peace isn't about escaping the chaos, it's about finding calm within yourself. It's about knowing who you are, practicing mindfulness, and focusing on what you can control. So start today. Take a deep breath, reflect on your values. Let go of what you can't change, and remember, your peace isn't dependent on the world around you, it's something you cultivate from within. And once you find it, no amount of chaos can take it away. 4. The importance of self-reliance. Walking alone isn't just about the physical act of being by yourself, it's a metaphor for self-reliance, the ability to trust in your own capabilities, decisions, and strengths. It's about knowing that even if the world turns its back on you, you've got your own back. Self-reliance doesn't mean you reject help from others or isolate yourself from relationships. It means you build an inner foundation so strong that you're not dependent on anyone else for your sense of stability and purpose. What does self-reliance truly mean? Many misunderstand self-reliance, thinking it means being entirely independent and refusing to depend on anyone. That's not the case. True self-reliance is about resilience, not isolation. It's about being capable of standing on your own 2 feet, not because you want to shut others out, but because you've built the confidence to handle life's challenges on your own. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. You might have a team with you, but the strength to take each step comes from within. Your teammates can cheer you on or give you advice, but no one can move your legs for you. Self-reliance is like that. It's knowing that while others can support you, the real work is yours to do. Why self-reliance is essential. Here's the truth life will test you. There will be moments when you feel alone, when the people you've leaned on aren't there to catch you, or when circumstances force you to navigate uncharted territory. In those moments, your self-reliance will be your greatest asset. Self-reliance gives you the confidence to make decisions without second-guessing yourself. It teaches you to trust your instincts, to act boldly, even when you're unsure, and to take responsibility for the outcomes. Without self-reliance, you're at the mercy of others waiting for their approval, direction, or validation before you move forward. And let's face it, relying on others for everything isn't sustainable. People are fallible, they have their own lives, challenges, and limitations. When you depend too heavily on others, you set yourself up for disappointment. But when you cultivate self-reliance, you create a sense of security that no one can take away from you. How to develop self-reliance? Developing self-reliance isn't something that happens overnight. It's a process, a series of small steps that build your confidence and capability over time. Here are some practical ways to get started. 1. Set small, achievable goals. Start by setting a small goal for yourself, something that's challenging but realistic. For example, decide to wake up 30 minutes earlier every day for a week, or commit to exercising for 15 minutes each day. These small wins will build your confidence in your ability to follow through on your commitments. Achieving these goals without relying on external motivation or validation is key. Prove to yourself that you can stay disciplined and focused even when no one is watching. 2. Take responsibility for your decisions. One of the hallmarks of self-reliance is owning your choices. Stop blaming others or external circumstances for where you are in life. Instead, take responsibility for your decisions, the good, the bad, and the ugly. When you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up or look for someone else to blame. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? Taking ownership of your life is a powerful step towards self-reliance. 3. Learn to solve problems on your own. It's easy to run to someone else for advice or help whenever you face a challenge. But self-reliance means learning to solve problems on your own first. The next time you encounter an obstacle, pause before reaching out for help. Think through the situation, brainstorm possible solutions, and try to resolve it yourself. Even if you don't succeed right away, the process of trying builds your problem-solving skills and confidence. 4. Build skills that empower you. Self-reliance often comes down to having the right tools, both literal and metaphorical. The more skills you have, the more capable you'll feel. For example, learning to cook for yourself is a form of self-reliance. So is managing your finances, fixing basic things around the house, or developing a skill that enhances your career. Every new skill you learn adds to your sense of independence and capability. The emotional side of self-reliance. Self-reliance isn't just about practical skills, it's also about emotional resilience. It's about being able to regulate your emotions, soothe yourself in difficult times, and find strength within when life feels overwhelming. One of the biggest challenges to self-reliance is the fear of being alone. Many people equate being alone with being lonely, but they're not the same thing. Being alone is a physical state, being lonely is an emotional one. When you cultivate self-reliance, you learn to enjoy your own company. You realize that you don't need others to fill a void because you're already whole. Here's an exercise to help with this. Spend 30 minutes alone each week doing something you enjoy: reading, walking, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. Use this time to reflect on your strengths and accomplishments. The more comfortable you become with yourself, the less you'll feel the need to seek validation from others. The role of discipline in self-reliance. Discipline is the backbone of self-reliance. It's what allows you to follow through on your commitments, even when it's hard. Without discipline, self-reliance becomes impossible because you'll always rely on fleeting motivation or external pressure to get things done. Start small. Commit to one disciplined action each day, whether it's sticking to a workout routine, completing a task at work, or resisting the urge to procrastinate. Each time you follow through, you strengthen your self-discipline muscle and, by extension, your self-reliance. Balancing self-reliance and connection. It's important to note that self-reliance doesn't mean shutting others out. Humans are social creatures, and relationships are a vital part of a fulfilling life. Self-reliance is about finding balance. It's about knowing that you can stand on your own, but also being willing to lean on others when it's healthy and necessary. Think of it like this: self-reliance is the foundation and your relationships are the walls. A strong foundation allows the walls to stand tall, but the walls provide structure and support. The two work together to create a stable and fulfilling life. The long-term benefits of self-reliance. When you cultivate self-reliance, you're not just building a skill, you're transforming your life. Self-reliance gives you the freedom to pursue your dreams without waiting for someone else's approval. It gives you the strength to face challenges head-on, knowing you have what it takes to overcome them. And perhaps most importantly, self-reliance gives you peace of mind. You no longer live in fear of losing someone's support or validation because you know you can thrive on your own. That sense of security is priceless. Walking alone isn't always easy. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and discomfort. But those moments are what shape you. They're what teach you to trust yourself, to rely on your own strength, and to stand tall even in the face of adversity. So, take that first step towards self-reliance. Set a small goal, take responsibility for your choices, and build the skills that empower you. Remember, self-reliance isn't about being perfect, it's about being resilient. And when you master that, there's no challenge you can't overcome. 5. Letting go of approval. Seeking approval is a deep-seated human tendency. From a young age, we're conditioned to value the opinions of others, whether it's from parents, teachers, friends, or society at large. There's a sense of validation in hearing someone say, "You did well," or "I'm proud of you," but there's a hidden cost to constantly chasing approval. You lose touch with yourself. Walking alone isn't just about physical solitude, it's a metaphor for the courage to let go of needing others' validation and embracing the freedom to live life on your terms. Why do we seek approval? Approval seeking is ingrained in us because it's tied to a primal survival mechanism. Early humans needed the acceptance of their tribe to survive. Rejection often meant being cast out, which could be life-threatening. Though times have changed, the emotional wiring remains. Today, rejection doesn't threaten our survival, but it can still feel deeply uncomfortable. The problem is that the world we live in amplifies this need for approval. Social media has turned likes, comments, and followers into metrics for self-worth. We become addicted to external validation, constantly measuring ourselves against others. This is exhausting, and worse, it's a game you can never win because the goalposts keep shifting. The irony is that no amount of approval from others can fill the void created by self-doubt. Even if the whole world applauds you, it won't matter if you don't believe in yourself. The cost of seeking approval. When you live for others' approval, you sacrifice your authenticity. You start making decisions based on what others expect of you rather than what you truly want. Over time, this can lead to feelings of frustration, resentment, and even burnout. Let's break down the hidden costs. 1. You become overly dependent on others. Relying on external validation means your happiness and self-esteem are always at the mercy of other people's opinions. What happens when the applause stops or when someone criticizes you? Without self-validation, you're left feeling empty and unsure of yourself. You lose your sense of purpose. When you're constantly seeking approval, your actions are no longer driven by your passions or values. Instead, you're guided by what you think others want from you. This leads to a life that feels hollow and unfulfilling. 3. You limit your potential. Fear of judgment often stops people from taking risks or pursuing their dreams. They worry about what others will think if they fail, but failure is a natural part of growth. By avoiding it, you're also avoiding opportunities to learn and improve. What does it mean to let go of approval? Letting go of approval doesn't mean you become indifferent or stop caring about others. It means you stop living for their validation. You shift your focus inward, prioritizing your own values, goals, and sense of self-worth. Think of it this way: approval from others is like a bonus. It's nice to have, but not something you rely on. The real reward comes from knowing you're living authentically, aligned with who you are and what you believe. Practical steps to let go of approval. Letting go of approval is easier said than done, but it's a skill you can develop with practice. Here are some steps to help you along the way. 1. Identify whose opinions you value too much. Take a moment to reflect. Whose opinions are influencing your decisions? It could be a parent, a boss, a friend, or even society as a whole. Ask yourself, why does their approval matter to me? Am I living my life, or theirs? Recognizing these influences the first step toward breaking free. 2. Define your own values. What truly matters to you? What kind of person do you want to be? When you're clear on your values, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with them, regardless of what others might think. Write down your top 3 values and use them as a guide for your actions. 3. Practice self-validation. Instead of waiting for others to recognize your achievements, learn to acknowledge them yourself. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on what you did well. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Over time, this habit will help you build internal confidence. 4. Learn to handle criticism. Criticism is inevitable, especially when you start living authentically. Instead of fearing it, learn to see it as feedback. Ask yourself, is there any truth in this criticism? If so, how can I improve if the criticism is baseless or rooted in someone else's insecurity? Let it go. 5. Say no without guilt. People pleasers often say yes to things they don't want to do because they fear disappointing others. Practice saying no in a polite but firm way. Remember, every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your values, you're saying no to something that does. 6. Embrace the fear of judgment. The fear of judgment never fully goes away, but you can learn to live with it. Every time you take a step outside your comfort zone, remind yourself that people's opinions are fleeting. Most of the time, they're not even thinking about you. They're too busy worrying about their own lives. The freedom of living without approval. When you stop seeking approval, you'll experience a profound sense of freedom. You'll no longer feel the need to explain or justify your choices. Instead, you'll make decisions based on what feels right for you. This doesn't mean you become selfish or reckless. It means you live with integrity. Letting go of approval also allows you to build deeper, more authentic relationships. When you're not constantly trying to impress others, you show up as your true self. This honesty fosters genuine connections based on mutual respect rather than superficial validation. The courage to walk alone. Walking alone is a metaphor for embracing your individuality. It's about having the courage to stand apart from the crowd, even when it feels uncomfortable. It's about trusting yourself enough to know that you don't need the world's approval to be happy. Consider this: some of the most influential people in history walked alone at pivotal moments in their lives. They faced criticism, doubt, and rejection, but stayed true to themselves. Their willingness to let go of approval wasn't just a personal victory, it was what enabled them to change the world. Letting go of approval is one of the most liberating things you can do for yourself. It's not easy. It requires courage, self-awareness, and a commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are worth it: a life lived authentically, free from the constraints of others' expectations. So ask yourself, whose opinions are holding me back? What would I do if I didn't fear judgment? Answer these questions honestly and take the first step toward walking alone. Remember, the only approval you truly need is your own. 6. Crafting your vision. A vision is more than just a picture of your future. It's the roadmap that guides your journey through life. Without a vision, you're like a ship adrift at sea, swayed by the tides and winds of others' expectations. But with a clear vision, you become the captain of your own ship, charting a course toward the life you truly want. Walking alone isn't just about stepping away from others. It's about stepping toward your own goals and dreams, driven by a vision only you can see. Why is a vision so important? Think about the most successful people in any field: artists, scientists, entrepreneurs, or leaders. What sets them apart? It's not just talent or luck, it's clarity. They know what they want, and they're willing to walk the often lonely path to get there. A vision gives you that clarity. It acts as a compass, ensuring you're always moving in the right direction, even when the road is unclear. Without a vision, it's easy to get caught up in the noise of life. You start chasing things that don't matter: money, status, approval, only to realize later that they don't bring fulfillment. But when you have a vision, you know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. Every step, no matter how small, feels meaningful because it's part of a bigger picture. The challenge of crafting your own vision. Here's the truth: crafting your vision isn't easy. It requires deep introspection and a willingness to confront your fears and limitations. It's not something you can outsource or copy from someone else. Your vision has to come from within, because only you know what truly matters to you. Many people avoid this step because it feels overwhelming. They think, what if I choose the wrong path? What if my vision isn't good enough? But the beauty of a vision is that it's not set in stone. It evolves as you grow. The key is to start somewhere. Even a vague idea is better than none because it gives you a starting point. Oh, how to craft your vision. Let's break it down into actionable steps. 1. Reflect on what truly matters to you. Begin by asking yourself some important questions. What kind of life do I want to live? What values are most important to me? What am I passionate about? These questions might seem simple, but answering them honestly can be transformative. Take your time. Write your answers down. Don't worry about being perfect. This is a personal exercise, and there are no right or wrong answers. 2. Dream big. Don't limit yourself based on what seems realistic. Let your imagination run wild. If you could have anything, be anything, or do anything, what would it be? Often we suppress our biggest dreams because they seem unattainable. But remember, every big achievement starts with a dream. The purpose of this step is to uncover what excites and inspires you. 3. Break it down. Once you have a general idea of your vision, start breaking it into smaller, actionable goals. For example, if your vision is to become a writer, your first goal might be to write 1 page a day. If your vision is to start a business, your first step might be researching your industry. Breaking your vision into smaller steps makes it feel less daunting and more achievable. 4. Write it down. There's power in writing things down. When you put your vision on paper, it becomes real. It's no longer just a fleeting thought, it's a commitment. Write your vision in vivid detail. Describe not only what you want, but also how it will make you feel. The more specific you are, the more tangible your vision will become. 5. Visualize it daily. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your vision. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you've envisioned. Picture the details, the sights, sounds, and feelings. Visualization isn't just wishful thinking, it's a proven technique that helps reinforce your goals and keeps you motivated. 6. Stay flexible. Your vision will evolve as you grow and gain new experiences. That's okay. Don't be afraid to make adjustments along the way. What's important is that you stay true to your core values and passions. Overcoming obstacles. Crafting and pursuing your vision comes with its challenges. You'll face doubt both from within and from others. You might question whether you're on the right path or whether you're capable of achieving your goals. This is where walking alone becomes crucial. It's in solitude that you build the resilience to overcome these obstacles. One of the biggest obstacles is fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear is a sign that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. Remember, the only way to truly fail is to give up. As long as you keep moving forward, you're making progress. The role of discipline. A vision without discipline is just a dream. Discipline is what turns your vision into reality. It's the daily effort you put in, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline doesn't mean working nonstop, it means being consistent. It's about showing up every day, no matter how small the step. Here's a practical tip: create a routine that aligns with your vision. If your vision involves becoming healthier, build habits like meal prepping or exercising regularly. If your vision is career-related, set aside time each day to work on your skills. The key is to make your vision a part of your daily life. Walking alone with purpose. When you walk alone, you're not just avoiding distractions, you're creating space for your vision to take shape. It's in these moments of solitude that you gain clarity about your goals and how to achieve them. Walking alone isn't about loneliness, it's about intentionality. It's about choosing your path, even when it's the harder one. Wolves don't follow, they lead, and they lead because they know exactly where they're going. When you craft your vision, you become like the lone wolf, guided by purpose rather than the opinions of others. You don't wait for permission or approval, you take action because you believe in your vision. The power of persistence. Crafting your vision is just the beginning. The real challenge is sticking to it when the road gets tough. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But persistence is what separates those who achieve their vision from those who don't. Think of your vision as a lighthouse. It doesn't remove the storms, but it gives you something to steer toward. Every small step, every bit of effort brings you closer to your destination. Crafting your vision is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. It's a declaration of who you are and what you want from life. It's a commitment to living intentionally, guided by your own values and passions. So take the time to dream, reflect, and plan. Write down your vision, break it into actionable steps, and pursue it with discipline and persistence. Remember, the path might be lonely at times, but it's worth it. When you walk alone with a clear vision, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. And that's the true power of living with purpose. Walking alone isn't about being tough or shutting people out. It's about finding your own strength, peace, and purpose. It's about becoming someone who can stand strong in any situation, not because you have to, but because you choose to. When you learn to embrace solitude, you stop depending on the world to define you. Instead, you create your own definition. And that's where true freedom lies. Walking alone like a lone wolf is one of the most powerful lessons you can learn. It teaches you clarity, resilience, and self-reliance. It forces you to grow in ways you never thought possible. But most importantly, it allows you to live authentically on your terms. So take that first step. Embrace solitude, face your fears, and walk your path with purpose.